this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram Abi.
Your lunch plate. I just need you to stay educated. You ain't no different from your classmates, but I just know what you can do when you dedicated. I can tell the way your head shake, that bit full of dreams, and you better chase it. What if I said life is just one big field trip, and you the driver, my little nigga, choose your destination. I just want you to think about it, wrap your mind around it. Do you hear what I'm saying? I just want you to think about it, wrap your mind around it. Do you hear what I'm saying? Last but not least, my little love, here's these words for you. Nothing on earth could compare to the work for you. I'm up all night and all day doing work for you. I never knew love to be pure and so absolute. You are the future makers of great men. No need to rush it right now.
Peace, 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 peace. Happy Holy Friday. Welcome back, Nobles.
Peace.
Peace and love, Noble.
Peace. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, Noble. I'm good. How's it going?
I'm good. More so.
You know, just jumping on here, man. They adjusted some of these settings on StreamYard. So I remember you were saying Noble was having some audio issues on some of the last classes.
Yeah.
It's looking like they adjusted some settings on here. We gotta, just update and relearn. But I didn't want that to stop nothing.
Okay.
I've been digging in some of these books that you've been offering lately.
Yes, sir. I told you. Yes, sir.
We got so much literature and so many references from so many doctors, religious scholars, preachers, reverends, historians. There's so many documents and books to cross-reference. I was reading this. This is one of them I found when I was just typing in the first book that I was looking at, called the Anglo-Israel. And it was just talking about some of the origins of Judah and the Israel people and the differences between, as we know, a lot of our ancestors say we come from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David, and those people are different than the people we know from Israel. And it was just a real interesting topic, even just understanding who the ancient Britain is, as you went over a few days ago about ancient and modern Britons, and understanding the differences between the pale skinned European, the Moor, or the Picts, and so many different names of our people over the times.
Yep. And when you get a chance, remember when we was talking last time, I put in our text stream about Godfrey Higgins. Mm-hmm. I'll tell everybody, you got to. The file was too big, but all you have to do, I'll show you how to download it. One of the sites, you just download it and then you print it. Godfrey Higgins tell on them all in his book. He got it. And I sent you a couple of his books, but the one book, the file was too big.
Right.
And it just explains it all.
Yeah.
It's live.
Yeah, no, it's so much. I was just going to read a little bit of the preface of some of these books.
Absolutely.
Definitely want Nobles and all people that watch to tap in. Check us out at mypdfbooks.com if you want a PDF copy of this book. If you want a physical copy, you can reach us at bindedbooks.com as well. Wanted to put that down on the ticker for people who seriously want to inquire. We have these books for people to share. These aren't secret. This is not secret information, but sacred.
It's live.
Peace and love, Noble Malik.
Peace.
Peace. How you doing, Noble?
Good, good, good. Just got done with a basketball game, so
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, well, I was just looking through some of the books that we've been getting over the last couple of days, and as you always touch on some of these topics about the ancient and modern Britain and the pale skinned European versus the swarthy and the tawny and the different terms that our people have been called and called themselves over the centuries is just a real interesting topic that we all need to dissect and have more clarity on. Because as we
Yep.
know, a lot of history has been whitewashed and we've been disenfranchised from a lot of world history that we need to, you know, reclaim and re-understand so we can, you know, join again with
absolutely.
the family of nations as Noble Drew Ali, came with this knowledge to help us understand clarity through love. Not saying we're trying to claim other people's heritage or be the better people, but to let people know that we were there, whether it was the Vikings, or whether it was the Britons, whether it was the Anglo-Saxon, the Scottish,
Hey,
all
Moso,
these. Hmm.
you know, it's been me and my dad was talking about this today, and my dad getting ready to be 79, and he just so inspired, and he was motivated, but then he was like, "Son, I feel sorry for you," and I was like, "What do you mean, Dad?" He was like, "The fight, what you promulgating, if universal, what the BBT is promulgating, universal, and we just." It ain't nothing that we have to do. It's in the Constitution. It's the law. We're not over. We don't have to recreate nothing. We don't have to. All we have to do is bring up the law. And when we ask people, what is the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? You know what that is, right, Moso? Can you just quote that real fast? This is how simple it is with us. You know what the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15 is, right?
No one should be arbitrarily denied of a nationality.
Yes. So noble Moso and noble Malik, if the law says that you got a right of a nationality and a right to change it, and the claim a child replaces the birth certificate, why would you want to be today a misnomer black person, want to be identified as a Negro, black, or color, or African American, or a slave? And then that goes along with the SF 181 form. And what my dad said, Noble, he was like, this haven't been taught, you know, and our scholars and our educators and our preachers and teachers, damn them. It's like we waiting on somebody else that don't look like us to tell us who we are. Then we're gonna accept it when a misnomer European or Albion Trelodike say, "Hey, y'all didn't know that y'all was more than this history, this," and then we gonna raise the fight when our own brother been telling us this lawfully, noble Moso. This is the irony and the psychosis of the misnomer black man, where we should be, our whole conversation should not be about Christian, Muslim, and all that, because once again, I showed the Dome of the Rock. When I broke the Dome of the Rock, and the Christians and the Muslims and the Jews all understand that, we tripping. They got the same forefathers. We tripping. So if we misnomer black people, Moso and Malik, my next question I ask brothers, okay, I don't care if you're Christian or religion and all that. Are you down with reparations? They say yes. Then I say, well, Negro, black, and color and African Americans not getting reparations. So our common denominator should be who we are, right?
Right, right.
That's all I have to say, man. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
mean,
main mission. You
yeah,
know,
it's just history. Like you said, it's the chronology of our people. We've been here for centuries. So for you to think we only use one term for ourselves on all these land masses would be ignorant. It would be doing a disservice. Our people colonized just like the Roman Empire. If you look at Hannibal, you look at all these African generals, Asiatic generals, Genghis Khan, all these
mhm.
were quote unquote black people. These were melanated people. These people share our blood of today. And
Even
you
with
don't.
the Christian heritage, when they try to whitewash history. And I say, well, we know this. We did the research on the first century Christian forefathers. We showed who they are in history. We showed the monuments. We showed the first century writers, all the European first century writers that agree with what we're saying. So, I mean, like I said, it's I don't know what else to say anymore. You know, honest nobles. I don't know. I don't
Popular
know.
opinion. People
I just
are
don't know.
they're allocated to popular opinion. I think that's instead of going for the facts, they just go with popular opinion. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, I mean, we got all this research we've been doing, and we still on this, history. As Moso getting ready to break it down. Now we as the people, we got to come together and band together. No matter it's solidarity. They got us separated with, oh, I'm a fraternity this, I'm a alpha this, I'm a this, or I'm a Christian, or I'm a moral this. We're not separate. And that's the whole thing. What the Bible tells us, my people are lost or destroyed due to a lack of knowledge. We refuse to learn who we are. We're not a minority. When you look at it, you're not a minority, and it just, I don't, like I said, I hope we see this in my lifetime, which I doubt, you know what I mean? But I'm so positive and I'm so encouraged to keep going. But Noble Moso and Noble Barclay, this number of black people is stupid as hell. I hate to say it like that. If white is smart, then what is black? If white is smart, what is black? We still identifying as something that's meaningless. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad, y'all. It's just sad. I'm, like I said, I don't try to convince no one. I try to spread love, but it's a sad day, for me. All the information that we have, and I get to speak and lecture this stuff to Europeans on campus, and I get all the support. And they get all my books and things, and it ain't just our personal family. It's a condition thing. This is what happened in misnomer black families, man. And I hate to say it, Moso. When I was getting my degrees at GCU, all the professors, you came here to go back and do this for your family and your people. We just lost, and so I just give y'all gratitude, man. I'm more encouraged, but, I'm disappointed as well,
Agreed.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. I mean, people want to hold on to a narrative that doesn't serve them. It doesn't unite them with the nations of the world. And I mean, these were issues that have been going on since Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. When these brothers went to the United Nations, they learned these things. When they traveled out the country, they learned that you can't just you can't claim Negro and think you're going to be respected. There's no culture that comes from that. These were terms created during
Geopentagamma, Moso. Geopentagamma. And a lot of people don't know who Geopentagamma is. I tell people, do the research. When I put things, same thing what Malcolm found out. That's the same thing Geopenta found out in Ethiopia. It's just certain things in history that we can start pulling out and throwing it back up. We have to go back in the vault, per se, like my dad was saying, like the second president of Egypt said the reason why Israel is cursed is because God's people left black and came back white. So what is he saying? He said the reason why Israel is cursed.
Yeah.
And so all these things that we have to connect who we are, all through history, all through Bible, first century writers been telling us this. It's just so much, that, like I said, I'm at a loss for words, Noble. Like I'm just at a loss for words, but I don't want to keep talking, man. Go ahead and proceed, Noble.
I appreciate the dialogue, Nobles. It's definitely a topic that we're going to keep touching on. I mean, that's what we do here at the BBT. We just illuminate the information. We welcome brothers and sisters to get these books, to come to our classes every Saturday, every Sunday, and just absorb the knowledge, before you just have your emotional opinion. I mean, history has already been laid. It was here before any of us was here. We're just cross-referencing the information. We're not saying one book is the tell-all be-all, but a lot of these documents have been written by credible people, pastors, reverends, historians, archaeologists. These people gave their entire lives to history. John Henry Clark, all these different scholars, J.A. Rogers, Ivan Van Sertima, Renoko Rashidi, all these brothers, all these brothers,
Wilson.
hmm? All these brothers can't be wrong. All these brothers traveled the world on their own dollar. Went broke. As you talk about, somebody Ben,
Yep.
Yost, Dr.
Yep.
Ben. These brothers gave their
Own
life.
dollar.
They gave their
Like
life.
today, we do it on our own dollar. Like, and that like, but the Bible says he told the people to build the tabernacle. It's for us. And before you proceed, Moso, that's something I really want. That was the last topic my dad was saying. And he was like, we don't understand the value of our dollar. Black people think they giving, like, and I use myself as a minister, as a divine minister that's tax exempt for the federal government. Negroes think they giving me something, but we willingly giving our money to Uncle Sam. And all we have to do is defer that to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and get a tax exempt receipt. That's what we should be doing. And we don't. And we won't. That's why we won't be successful, and our organizations don't be successful, because our people don't understand the importance of giving to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice to see something happen, for you can have your own place of worship, for you can have your own schooling, for you can have some things nobody can't shut down. That's
Right.
what that is for. And until we get back into that, I don't want to hear no Negroes talking about we the original Jews. Negroes don't do nothing that Jews do. Real
Right.
Jews split their money 3 ways, and charity is number 1. So when Negroes talk about they the original Jews, it ain't nothing about you that you don't do no Jewish customs.
Right.
I mean, so when people come with that nonsense, we the original this, it ain't nothing so original about nobody. And so I'm just tired of people using religion to separate us, Moso. And I just want to say this last piece, like the Negro question, and all first century writers, I hope people listening, all first century writers share, the history and who we are. It's a lot of us, it's in this book right here. It's a lot of volumes. But I just want to, when people talk about King James and the etymology of King James, that's talking that European stuff, that's still modern history. That ain't the King James we talking about. That ain't the King James we talking about. And I just want people to know that all first century historians, from Professor Winchell Alexander and his collections, when he say that the short black men came from Atlantis, North Africa, and they overran Europe, they were known as Britons. And then tomorrow in that class, I'm gonna break down David McRitchie, and I'm gonna break down the history of what the Europeans saying who we are. All through history, Joseph Ritson, Ivan Van Sertima. I mean, all these professors, Dr. Thurman, these Europeans, Professor Huxley, the Iberian race, when he did that whole speaking, even Professor Boyd Dawkins, the professor of geology in Manchester. People need to look this stuff up, and then look at the image of King James of England, the location in the New College of Library of Edinburgh, UK. We're not talking about no European nothing. And so I just want to show that to my people. Stop letting people use religion to separate us. And we all that. Are we the Christian? Yes. Are we the Muslim? Yes. Are we the Egyptian? Yes. Are you the Israelite? Yes. Yes. Hell, if you want to get technical, y'all, and I lead this, don't you know in certain places when they call you in the Spanish, when they call you a negrito and a so-called black person, an African, don't y'all know that they say they do make the same people, y'all? You know that, right? I'm gonna share that in the DAP class tomorrow. They say the African and a negrito is not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Because a negrito is Spanish, not a nigger from slaves from Africa. Oh, the rabbit hole get deep, y'all.
Yeah. Like
the same thing in Puerto Rico.
Like the
when I
word
go to the slave ports, I'm gonna show you that they gonna say no black and indigenous, no, not the same, but they the same color, same face, everything. What are you talking about? Because those that identify the Negro African American slave don't have no rights.
Yeah, and that was a tactic done on purpose, with the pen. You know,
Yep.
they got you calling yourself something to disenfranchise you.
And they still doing it. They call it Afro Latino and Afro this and Afro that. Now they doing it with the word Afro. So now Afro is incorporated with the NBC as well.
Right. Just like we was Afro Americans not that long ago.
And it's sad because what's an Afro American? Like I said, if anything, it's just sad.
Original
They got us calling ourselves stuff that don't mean nothing. You know,
Yeah,
and
it's
we trying to
original
defend, we be trying to make sense of stuff that don't mean nothing. We be wasting our time. It's like we can't defend that, you know?
because it's an emotional content in the English language. That's what they get you. Popular opinion has to do with emotion, not facts. How you feel. That's what popular opinion does. It makes you feel good.
Islam. Islam. We ready for you, Boso.
And we all read the book. We all know the story of Othello. Othello was the first Moor we probably all heard of. If you never heard of any Moor, you've heard of Othello, and he was of Moorish descent.
But what Langston Hughes tell them, Moso? That's why I be laughing. I said, y'all, but what did Langston Hughes say about the Spanish War? I mean, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the guy that wrote the Three Musketeers? The Frenchman, the melanated, the Moorish Frenchman.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Alexander Dumas.
Alexander Dumas. Yes.
Yep.
They changed him and depicted him as something that he wasn't. But the movie was the movie Django. They pulled it out in Django.
Yep.
That people was paying attention
Right.
when they was in the library.
Damn right, you damn right, Malik.
They was right in the library. He said, "Well, Alexander Dumas would be upset at you because he was black." Now what? Ding 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 ding.
Telling people when Abraham Lincoln defended the Moor in court. Like we've been telling people, like you don't want to identify something that's meaningless, and the Dred Scott law is never abolished. Come on, misnomer black people, think.
They pay homage to you because the Big Ben clock is in England, and that was created by a Moor. Big Ben Bay.
Yeah, we were Moors longer than we were enslaved Negroes. So it's just a matter of going back to the history.
Or Benjamin Banneker.
Right. Benjamin Banneker Bay, he created so many things that they accredit to Benjamin Franklin, So it's like you gotta unlearn some of the lies and the whitewashed history, sadly, or you'll be a prisoner of information that was given to pigeonhole you.
Yeah, that's what they call popular opinion.
And that's what the world is waiting for, y'all. The world is waiting for us to identify who we are. That's going to be the big major shift. It ain't nothing else that can happen in this world. The major shift is us coming together, so-called fraternities, religious understanding, the common denominator. And the world going to change. Because then, if it ain't no slaves, and then with all that welfare and all that, now we could talk about reparations. Yeah.
Yeah. Because so many other people who have nationalities have gotten reparations in America.
Yeah. Come on now. Slaves don't get nothing.
And like you said, I mean, using, the first schools started through churches. So, I mean, it's not that when you join a church, it doesn't mean that you're a perfected person, but you're using that nonprofit status, you're using that religious exemption to protect you, to grow within that ministry, to, like you said, to put your tax dollars, put your funds in a place that you see needs to be spent. So you're not just giving all your money back to the government.
Yes, that's exactly what my dad would say. He was like, son, I wish I would have known this earlier. And he was like, all the people that even your family, he was like, it's just black families don't know this. And he was like, it's sad, we don't know. And once we know, we should fix it. We giving our money away willingly, thinking, oh, I got to pay my taxes. Yes, but you can decipher it to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and get a tax exempt receipt. You got, and this is what I tell everybody, and I'm like, you don't have to do nothing extra. What? Decipher that. That's how you get the file exempt. But we don't educate. This not taught in the churches. This not taught nowhere. They just tell our kids to go get a job, work, go in crazy debt, retire when you damn near 75 years old, when you can't enjoy your life, and you think you own something. You don't even own your house. So we got to relearn some stuff, man. We got, and I've been trying to teach brothers and sisters this. You know, we need to relearn. We need what did Carter G. Woodson say? The miseducation of the Negro. We got to be willing to relearn some stuff, man. Just like Malik be saying, he didn't know. Okay, so we got to be willing to say we didn't know. Not come get into the know.
Right. You know, a lot of people be scared though too. You know, they're afraid. A lot of it's fear, and then learning something. You know, some of this is sit down too. We're just covering a bunch of basic information that has more more root to it. You know, we're introducing to you the trees and the leaves, but you want to get to the roots, so you know. And a lot of people just want to get over. You know what I mean? They want to be lazy about it, but when you get lazy about it, you know, you skip steps and then you end up being wrong. So come be corrected and come get the understanding instead of trying to take the easy way out, so to speak.
Right. And not being so bitter. Because I mean, all these other
Right.
cultures these other cultures are the custodians of our culture. It's nothing shameful with having to relearn your culture. But if you always looking at other people as stealing something from you or not being the
Yes, sir.
original, and you so worried about who's the original,
Right.
it's about living the culture. You only have a certain amount of years on this planet. So I mean, for you to be angry and an angry person, it's like just relearn your culture, get in where you fit in, and get with your brotherhood and your sisterhood, and live accordingly by those tenets. But that's why they put the label of savage and slave on people, because if you have that label and you go with that, you'll never be anything else. You'll never embrace the full story of your people.
Islam.
So I mean, I was just, it was this one book that I found in our emails, just talking about, as we know, the Britons, the long lost origin and early history of our ancestors. Excuse me.
Hey, no, but you mind showing the front of that book again, just so they can see
Sure,
the spelling?
sure.
Because that shows you what a linguistic apartheid look like. You know what I mean? Um, Even with other names that are similar but spelled differently, so they actually get you know why they changed the name, so you won't trace it back. Because when you go like Google up stuff,
Hmm.
if you ain't got the correct spelling, because they did programs Google real smart, you got to ask specific stuff to get a specific answer, right?
Right.
Yep. That's
So
academia.
if you
Hey,
don't ask a specific
you learn
question,
some at the BBD, huh, Malik?
oh, absolutely, you gotta ask specific questions. Because I can ask Google like, what's the oldest flag in the world? It'll tell you Switzerland, Sweden. No, hold on, one of them, Switzerland, Sweden, one of them. And then if you go back and then ask it, what is the how old is the Moorish American flag? You'll get a different answer.
Yep.
That predates something way beyond the one that they showed you
Yep.
before that, because it's a specific question. You got to ask specifics, and then they'll give you a specific answer. But if you ask a very general, it's going to give you popular opinion
All
or
right.
what most people know, which is popular opinion.
Like we know the denotation and the connotation of these words. Some words have a modern meaning and some have a ancient meaning.
Yeah. So with that being said, I just wanted you to show the front of that before you went on.
Yeah, no,
That way
definitely.
people can get that spelling.
Like you
And
said,
Marcel, can you write this little note down too before you end? And before you end, can you pull this up? Um, just Google it on Internet Archives. It's Godfrey Higgins' book. I can't pronounce it right. It started with an A. Anacropolis. If I might be pronunciating it wrong, but you
Anacalyptic.
need that, and I want y'all to research that. So why Maso breaking that down? Google that book and download it PDF, and then when we end, just share the cover of it and the cover of it, and then we out of here. That book is important.
Got it.
Godfrey Higgins one.
Yep.
Let me search for that right now.
Let me see. I know I pronounced it wrong.
Anacalypsis, I think.
There you go. There you go. I'm chewing on some cauliflower. I can't even pronounce it.
You could. Godfrey Higgins.
Yep. And the file is too big, but Internet Archive download it real fast. Y'all should be able to download it. And that right there, like Godfrey Higgins, like when I was breaking down the 16 crucified saviors, he referenced Godfrey Higgins and a couple other books. So I recommend y'all to go back to that 16 crucified saviors and go through that. And all those referencing books, I sent them to y'all. But when you read Godfrey Higgins, that's it. You're gonna be like, man, it's done. And he a European scholar. It's a wrap. Like I said, it's a wrap already. That people just don't know. And once we start introducing this to the people, it's over. All checkmate.
Yeah, I mean, we're not coming from a place of hate. We're just coming from a place of scholarship and research. At the end of the day.
Sir.
Can't be hated for scholarship.
And most of these brothers and sisters who act like they into history, they're not scholarly. They're coming from a, like you said, a biased perspective or a religious perspective, and we study all of it. We break down all of it.
Dogmatic understanding.
So I was just gonna, I mean, let me see. You want me to pull that up? You said you want me to pull that up now, Noble, or what?
No, do your thing, and just when you're done, just show the cover of it. Once you found it, that's it.
Okay.
But you should get some little info on who Godfrey Higgins is. I mean, it's checkmate.
Yeah. Let me type. Yeah, this document right here was just saying, some of the long lost origins and the early history of our ancestors. The Britons, the Scots, the Anglo-Saxon. And like Malik was saying, all these words are spelled a certain way and have a certain origin. Not necessarily the modern meaning that we all have learned. As it says, it has a prehistoric and a pre-Roman period. During the Roman times, there was, Hannibal, the Carthaginian, and he was, a melanated brother who had tribes that were fighting. They never tell you about the battles that we fought against Europeans.
The Punic War. And we broke that down, that Africa wasn't named after a European. We broke that down already from scholarship.
The Great Lakes. They'll talk about the Battle of the Great Lakes either.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's so much to, it's so much to learn, when you're really into history and wanting to really uncover the truth and the full story. It's a joy to do the research and dive into these books and these stories.
And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, remember I told y'all when I went to Detroit and went to that bookstore, right? Went to the oldest bookstore in Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they got one in Chicago called the Underground Bookstore. But see, a lot of these documents and stuff I'm getting them all from there. I'm getting a lot of them from there. I'm just knowing how to get them without paying for them. But man, when I went to the bookstore, he said, your library, he's like, you got more ancient documents than any library I've ever seen. I'm asking about documents that I got. He's like, no, I need that. He bought some stuff for me, so we kind of bartered. I didn't spend no money. That was the crazy part about it when I went to the bookstore. When you a source, he's like, but you got way more information. I said, I'm a bookstore, online. He like, that's amazing. Cause he like a lot of the brick and mortar stores, Maso, they're not getting frequent. It's a urban bookstore in California called Wasam. Nobody goes to them. But you know why? Because Amazon done put everybody out of business. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Amazon put everybody out of business. And they don't deal with it.
The books that you can go back and research about the war that they don't talk about, white cargo, and they were white, they were slaves. They talk about wars that where the colonizers were coming over, trying to change stuff up, and there was a lot of wars they were losing. They don't talk
Right.
about that history because they rather
Nope.
tell the story about them being the victor and switching roles around things. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they switch spellings and use the same name, said the same way, but spelled differently.
You see that, Malik? You see how you did? That's the whole class. That's the whole class about Augustine L. Bay when they turned Tunic to Turner and Washington to Washington. That's a
Mm-hmm.
whole damn lecture right there. Where we keep giving bullets. Like, listen,
Right.
we can't let people tell our story. We can't.
Right.
We can't, and we
We gotta
can't let
learn it though.
misnomer Negroes tell a story neither from a loser perspective. We cannot.
Right. Exactly.
Right. I ain't no loser, so
Because Hannibal, because like with that brother Hannibal, I mean, his story should be taught. The military wouldn't be what it is without his story. Rome. He conquered Rome. He was fighting. There was 100 years of war, 100+ years of wars. The Punic Wars. We don't study these things. We don't find a lot of. They don't find these things important, but these shape the world that we live in today.
yep.
And he
All
got that
these
man
sculptures.
from beating Hannibal in the war. That's why he got
Right.
Africanus.
Africanus,
You know,
exactly.
and then his
Exactly.
brother in Italy. When I say those are abdomens, when I tell
Right.
people look at what an abdomen is, like, man, like I said, I'm
Yeah.
just so inspired, man, and
Yeah.
I
It's
just
so
have
much.
nothing but
So,
gratitude for learning.
but like you always say, Sheik, I mean, one day soon we all gonna go to Europe, and like you said, they respect this knowledge overseas. They respect this information.
Yep.
In other parts of the world, it's just in the United States, people are under a spell of a certain narrative, and they don't want to do the research. They don't want to learn more. They want to just be set in, United States history. And even here, so much has been whitewashed to the point where, the full story, people won't even embrace it. So it's just doing a disservice as adults. A lot of us went to college, a lot of us been in school, and we never learned these things. We only learned, reconstructed history. But as we know, there's so much more to the story of the indigenous people of the Americas, the Atlantis, all these different things we think are myths were really, based in a lot of real history. And there's artifacts in the Americas, North, Central, South America to prove it. So I mean, it's just, we really want people to just come to our classes, come to our book clubs, and get the information so they can dialogue. We not coming from no egotistical place where we think we know everything. We just want to share the information and let people absorb it.
Wow.
But I did find I was gonna pull up, like you said, Anacalypsis. I did. Let me know if y'all can see. This is the one right here, Anacalypsis.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
An inquiry into the origins of language, nations, and religions. This is Godfrey Higgins.
And he tells it all. And when y'all get a chance, go back and read the 16 crucified saviors that I sent y'all. And there's some notes in there. And then we're gonna come back and have a conversation. But the first century writers, they tell it all. They're like, man, you lying,
Yeah, I mean, even like you said, even with some of these Greek, these Greek teachers, Socrates and all these people, yeah, they might have statues to make them look to seem like they're so white, but a lot of these people were melanated. A lot of these, if they say Europeans were illiterate majority of these centuries, it's no way that they could just pop up and be scholars, because a lot of these Greeks
where they go, where they get their education from?
Right? They went to ancient Kemet to get the knowledge. They went to our schools to be educated. So
that was definitely to get further education because they weren't taught by us. They were raised by us and brought out of the Ice Age, Iron Age, all these different ages, the dispensations that they talk about. They were
Right.
brought up and taught these things in these different dispensations. So if you look at the collective from beginning to the end, when they talk about they were brought out of the ice age, they were mentally frozen. Like you can correlate this to Masons, right? Because
Yep.
they're only 32 or 33 degrees. That's the
Yep.
freezing point
Yep.
when water freezes over. So they was brought out of these ages.
Yep. Yep. And just like, man, okay, let's just be 100, man. Okay, who's talking about the real history about like we talking about? You have to be an educator to know this. TikTok is just TikTok, but
Right.
education and facts and documents. A lot of universities were capitals for the Sultan, like in Florida. All that's indigenous. Out here in Arizona, indigenous. Puerto Rico, indigenous. And I say the Tampa University of Tampa was the Sultan capital. And but then I sent y'all the book about the Taj Mahal. Look at that. I sent y'all a book the other day about the Taj Mahal.
Hmm.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what did it say? The Taj Mahal it tell you that it's a spirit, it's a spiritual monument. You know, that's what it was. When you get overthrown, they keep your buildings, they turn them into what the hell they want to. Government buildings.
Right.
What is government buildings? Government buildings,
Protect-
universities, churches. Those are government-ran organizations. Look at them. Look what's on the top
hide
of them.
stuff in it. Look where all these prestigious colleges are at. You should go look at the history of some of the locations of these prestigious colleges.
Hell, well, I got the documents already about Harvard and Oxford. And so anybody come with that crap, I got all the documents, and Harvard did a whole document about the Moors, about them educating their first students and all that. So when they come with that trash, all we gotta do is pull out the information. It's there.
Yeah, we went over that already, like months ago.
All the info there. And that's what my dad was saying. He was like, son, he was tearing up. Like my dad getting ready to be 79. Look good, look like mobile and everything. He like, son, it's just he was like, you inspire me. He was like, and I'm your dad. And he was like, I hope family get it. And he was like, the thing that I had to focus on is not being angry at my
Right.
family. You know, it's like, okay, the world is your family. And so I'm encouraged, man. Like I said, I'm encouraged. We ain't in no 60s. We should have been got this, man. We ain't worried about nobody taking us out. No, J. Edgar Hoover. We ain't
Right.
worried. Our own people is just like, we look at all this information, so we should stand strong. So just gratitude, man.
And yeah, no gratitude, Nobles. I mean, we gonna keep doing the work and just breaking down the wisdom, because it's undeniable at this point. It's too much information, too much digital books. Like you said, we have access to a lot of unlimited database of histories of all the continents, all the ancient peoples. So it's just a matter of connecting all the dots and seeing the full story at the end of the day. And not coming from a place of hate, as our teachings, you have to learn to love instead of hate. You have to, come back to the family of nations.
And most of all I be saying, man, is like when people say, now what color don't matter. And I say, okay, well, if color didn't matter, why didn't you tell the truth from the beginning? Nobody can answer that. Well, color don't matter. Okay, well, color didn't matter. Why we didn't tell the truth from the beginning about history and spirituality and so-called religion? Why we just didn't tell the truth? If
Because
color
the
didn't matter.
people who are benefiting from it don't want to lose their benefit, if that makes sense. So if I've been benefiting from something the whole time, thanks, you too. When I've benefited from the whole time, why would I want to? I didn't do it, so color doesn't matter. I know that, but it don't matter. So if that's the case, then you're benefiting from something that has been changed. You ain't coming out telling the truth. You only have these truths in small conversations and settings. You don't come, not everybody, but majority of the people don't come out and tell the truth like it should be told, because they're benefiting from the lie or the misinformation.
Truth, right?
They ain't gonna come out and say it, because then they're gonna have to get rid of a lot of people in that essence. If y'all understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because the law said, the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, is clear. You got a right of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. And no one would be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and the right to change it. Man, that's so powerful to misnomer Negroes, man. Like, and Obama gave us that, like, and our people that's talking about reparations ain't talking about that. And the SF 181 form, it's telling you the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15 says your nationality, Moorish American. The SF 181 form is what? Ethnicity. Come on, man. So the laws is telling you, you tell me who you are. And,
Right.
and didn't I show y'all the letter about them apologizing for misnomer slavery early as what? What was that, 2007? Or that, no, 2009? I sent y'all the document. So if that's the case, we said we not that, you know?
It was 2009. I read the
Yeah,
document.
2009. So here we got all these documents, which is constitutional law, to tell you have the right to self-identify singly but grouply. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. You know, even when even a European college student that I mentor, you know, he was like, well, the scripture, and he was like, I couldn't remember the scripture, Sheik, but doesn't in the Bible says when the creators told the person to put his hand in the bosom and it came out white, and then he put it back in and it came out to the color it was beforehand. And he was like, what did you get out of that? And I was like, you tell me. And this is a European student. He said, well, tell me that he wasn't, his skin wasn't white before he put his hand in the bosom. We cracked up laughing. You hear me?
So there be confusing factors, right? Because we don't continually correct it. So you used one analogy earlier was that when you talk about Israel, right? He said it's people who left black and came back white, right? So when we keep using those terms interchangeably, it causes confusion with people because you say, okay, well, you're saying we're not black. You're right, but you have to understand the context of which we're explaining. So you left back, or you left as a Moor, let's just say it like that, and then you came back as a non-Moor because you started picking up these ideologies that weren't very Moorish.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you let somebody strip you of your customs. I mean, and your law ain't what it is. And look, you've been replaced. I mean, as I said, they didn't just kill you; they replaced you. If they just took you off the face of the earth, okay, but you've been replaced. Look, you know.
And then more than that, they got you only studying United States Christian history when there's so much more history of other spiritualities that our people embraced. To the point where they got people doing they got you paying for a blood test to learn who you are at this point. You know, it's always a money thing. They want you to pay some website to tell you where your blood comes from when you can do it through the historical documents.
But the funny thing is about those is it all comes back to the truth. And the majority of the people are Albions that actually subside to those websites or to those DNA results for those facts because they want to know where their origin of people come from too.
Right.
Because then some of them have rights to reparations if they understand what we've been teaching. Yeah.
Right. But like Sheik always says, you can Google your last name and learn about your family coat of arms and learn you could do it very cheaper by just typing in your last name.
Malik asked me for a book. I can't find it. I've been looking for all bookstores about your ancient family with the Indian on it. Malik, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they said it's out of print.
Yeah, it's out of print. I found some pieces. I found a couple chapters. You know, I'm on it, but that's a lot of stuff that be written and stuff, and you can't find. Just like when you look up your family crest and coat of arms, and you be looking at stuff, but then when you start reading, going deeper and deeper, you're like, damn, my family. I got family in Florida and these areas. And then when you start looking at the origins, you're like, but the first people of these areas, these were melanated people. Just like when you talk about the Hebrew Hill. When you look at that area, where that area was at, I ask people, I say, okay, so them you got to start research. Like, man, these people wasn't no slaves, you know?
Yep. And the Jacobites, because that talks about the servitude. It wasn't slavery; it was the servitude that came over here, which started so-called, AKA, the Atlantic slave trade.
And even like the Delaware, you know, I went to school in Delaware. The Delaware Indians, the Nanticoke, you know, the Cherokee. You sent some books about the Cherokee and the
Iroquois.
The free people of color. I mean, this is history that people should be, you know, very focused on and not focused on the
color races.
So, yeah,
found here by the Europeans.
Yeah,
I'm talking about you ran into them because you came over here.
Right.
You saw what was here. And that's what we promulgate, man. And all this history and this scholarship, this is the real education. Like you get a real education, you get real spirituality. And I've been through the fire. When I tell people I'm not a know-it-all, but I know I've been challenged for academia. I've
Yeah.
been challenged in ministry. I've been through all facets of ministry. I went through academia, for business and a master's degree. Just like my dad was saying, he was like, when the student becomes successful, that's when the teacher supposed to become successful. And it was like, because just like, okay, say you got a good idea for a business, but you don't know how to set it up. The teacher is show you how to set your business up and all that. You coming successful is your hard work. Why? Because people can do the same thing you do and don't be successful, my soul. It
Right.
can be some hell, people making $1 million selling Arizona iced tea. So they started just like you. So
Right.
what I'm saying, I bet you they giving credit to the thought and to the idea and to that person that helped them get their shit together. I bet
Right.
you that teacher, I bet you that person that got them right and got that business set up is successful and teaching everybody
Mhm.
the same process. Why? Because that's how the teacher becomes successful. You go to school and you got a good teacher. What's the first thing you gonna do? Tell everybody else, man, take Sheik Goodman Bay class, man. He's a great teacher. He let us take our stuff in groups. If you don't got your notes and things, you ain't gonna be able to take the test. Why? Because everything's gonna be done in groups. He used your brain. He wants y'all to work together. That's gonna spread. The teacher
And it's
becomes
biblically
successful.
too, right?
Yes,
Find me one person, and I won't burn it all down, right? It's teach one, reach one, teach one, right?
yes. Yeah, so when you successful and you become a multi-billionaire, and then your home will become a multi-billionaire, hell, you're gonna be like, oh, y'all part of my ministry, man. I'm successful too. Why? Because you're successful.
Y'all got stock in it, right? We all
That's what
invested.
LL Cool J said. LL Cool J said something so powerful, man. Nobody never talked about it. He said, man, the reason why I don't be worried about nothing and I'm successful and stay out the way, he said, because I get 10% of everything I have. He like to
Mm.
my spirituality. Pull it up. He said, I give 10%. He said, I get 10% of everything that I have. He said, I don't have, he said, that's why I'm blessed. He said, I ain't worried about how nobody feel about it. I said, damn. Because if you
Wow.
got it, you should donate to your, let's imagine, Mo, so you a multi freaking millionaire, and I'm your sheik, and I'm your brother, your educator, we learn together and all that. And we don't have a big spirit, we don't have our brick and mortar popping off, our library,
Right.
our school, our gym with Malik coaching, got our own team,
Right.
our own print shop, all that stuff. What's the purpose of having the funds? You just gonna get the money away?
Right. Everything in house.
Yes.
Hey,
And
but that's
so
what
that's
Negroes do.
yep. And that's what I'm saying. It's just a lack of knowledge because we don't have to do nothing more. We don't have to, oh, I gotta give this. No, you just gotta cipher where you wasted and you doing that and lack of understanding the tax system, understanding tax exempt status, understand giving to your organization and getting a tax exempt
Can I?
receipt,
I'm gonna ask you this
understanding.
question, right? So all these players, you can go like YouTube some of this stuff because there are headlines on YouTube. Like, go look at all these players that made all these millions of dollars and now are broke. But and all of them got in trouble with taxes. Even Allen Iverson was one of them. Because he didn't want to go get education on how to be better with his funds because they go out here shucking and jiving and trying to keep up with the Joneses with all these people in entertainment and let somebody manage their money that don't have their best interests.
Yep,
It's
yep.
crazy.
Because
You
you
got
got to
all
remember,
these most of
Malik, your
all these
money manager don't
athletes
have
is
to pay your
alienated.
taxes. Your money manager is not responsible for
Nope,
your
you
taxes.
do.
That's why they never go to jail.
Right.
Think about it. All of them got money managers. All of them. Fat Joe had a money manager. Wesley Snipes had a money manager. That ain't their responsibility. That's your responsibility. You
You gotta have a
know,
tax
Your
preparer.
is
That's
your name. Right.
you have to do
you
what
gotta
the
get somebody to
Sopranos do.
sign on the dotted line
You just got
and
to
represent you.
understand what. Like it ain't a
Boss.
black and white thing. It's understanding your rights as an American and what type of American are you. I'm a Moorish American. What makes me a Moorish American? Born here in America with African Moroccan descent. But I have the right to decipher my tax dollars. And this is what I tell people. You have the right. We ain't avoiding that. You can't avoid taxes, but you have the right. If Wesley Snipes said he was spiritual and he dealing in martial arts, well, why you don't have a sensei? And that's what you donate to, that dojo. That's tax exempt. And the money, you wouldn't have got in trouble for no fucking tax evasion. Excuse my candor. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't have got in trouble. If you
Right.
got a sensei or a spiritual head and you say you believe in this type of spirituality and you making all that money, well, you just donate to your spiritual organization then. What we talking
Right.
about?
Yeah. It's simple. It's really simple.
I know. So these dudes don't be so what that tell you, they don't believe in nothing really. Why? Because what you
Selfish.
spending your money on? Like
Right.
Malik said, the Joneses, you know, and you get a tax exempt receipt. So you think about it, like Malik was saying, the domino effect of when people go pro and they from a community, and you making, just say you're not even making $100 million a year, you might make shit. I just say you make say $2 million in a year, you know, after tax, you know, so taxes, you got at least, you in a high tax bracket. So just say you $1 million tax bracket per se off of 10 million a year, man. And then you live in California, and they say you can donate 60% of your earned income to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. That means Moso can donate $600,000 to the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School every year. $600,000. Not only Moso need to convince all his melanated brothers to support this, because when it's over, this is what we'll have. We'll have some facility. We'll have a gym. We ain't got to worry about where the kids gonna hoop at. Why? We got one. We built one. What we talk about? Oh, it ain't no libraries. What you mean? We got a library. What you talking about? Ain't no computer lab. Yeah, it is.
And sadly, some of these players, they learn it too late. You know, they learn it after they've squandered so much.
Man, I know the man. Like
one brother, I seen y'all should watch this one documentary about the brother J.R. Smith, the brother who won the championship with LeBron with the Cleveland back in the day.
I know you're talking about.
He went back to college. He has a whole documentary now. He went back to college to play golf, and he's using his status and his resources to build up a black college's golf team. And he talked about how much he spent and how he was mismanaging his money, and now he realized that he had to really clean it up. And
that's how it happens. After we lose everything, then we have a testimony. But like I said, the fall of glory is so high. And I said, I know a lot of people went pro, and now I said the thing about pensions and NBA, you got to play a certain time, 3 years. They want you. You ain't getting your little $50,000 a year, which is nothing, until you a certain age. Right. Then you got to have 10 years straight to get that $250,000 a year. But that's when you get like 60 something. What I'm saying is, things can be done with our finances while we're making that money to build our infrastructure, to build our communities, to build up our urban neighborhoods. So you can go back and you can see what we own. This is our religious community. Our grocery stores, who own them? We do. We got our gardens. We got Mosso's Tea Shop. We got Mosso's Herbs. We got our own farmers market. We do. Community. That's what community is. Look at it. Community, commerce, and unity.
Collective.
Yeah.
It's a compound word. And that's what this all about. And that's why I said all business ain't good. Once you know who you are and what we breaking down and all these docs and what we showing people who we are. And when you know who you are, that allows you to know how to do business and how to sign and make sure your paperwork is correct first. And all that stuff is what we offer here, you know? And so gratitude again.
No, gratitude, Nobles. I mean, like you said, we're going to continue this conversation tomorrow and this weekend. We was just building on this topic, and we've been on here for about an hour. You know, we can go all night, but you know, we can get some rest, and we welcome everybody to tap in with us on the weekends. You know, we work out with our brother at 11 o'clock Eastern time. We work out for about 30 minutes, a nice 30-minute sweat, and then we break down the wisdom even more, you know. So
yes, sir.
For y'all time.
Appreciate y'all Nobles jumping on and y'all spirit. Appreciate everybody who tapped in. If y'all want any books, please reach out to us. We the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. I appreciate y'all Nobles for jumping on.
Peace and love.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of neither means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. living